What's going on, everyone? Today, we're going to be asking some questions. I actually kind of wanted to get some feedback from the community on some accessories that I think are overdue, things that Fantasy Flight started to do, that AMG hopefully will continue, because Fantasy Flight sort of dropped the ball on this. And I'm talking about bases and stands and accessories. There's an awful lot of I think demand and a lot of room, and things are falling down on me. Oh my goodness! Got a patch fell down on me. But basically, I think there's an awful lot of demand for patches. No, for accessories, for stands, for bases. I've seen actually. All right, so since the Clone Wars came out for Armada, I've seen a huge influx in new Armada players. Plus, there's always a lot of new people joining Legion all the time, since those two have had recent, large wave expansions. And one of the things a lot of people have asked, somebody was asking on Armada bases the other day, if it was okay to glue these in, and were met with a resounding no, because of course you need to take these out and swap them around and make them upside down. So, but there's also been a lot of these that break. And unfortunately, if you play Star Wars Armada and you break a large base ship, that's a $50 or more piece that's gone. So there's definitely demand for replacement base kits, especially as hard as it is to get something replaced nowadays. And not just bases for ships, but also the squadron bases and all of that stuff. Now, X-Wing did this a long time ago with their with their acrylic bases, but this was in X-Wing First Edition. So this is how I know that Fantasy Flight had it on their radar, and that they made alternative bases for X-Wing. They made cosmetic bases and just replacement. They made the clear plastic, then they made them in orange, in green, in red, in blue, and in purple. And I think that was all of them. Just don't break them. It's not as simple as that, because I think everybody who's played these games long enough has broken something. It's an inevitability that things will break. So, and then they went ahead in Legion, and I'm going to use my Dooku base here, which was in the thumbnail. There's 3D print files. Sure, there's 3D print files. We'll get to that, because I'm going to actually talk about those a little bit. But then Legion started making like the cool Death Star bases, right? And they're pretty cool. Now look, a lot of people like to use their own bases. That's fine. I like the actual the Fantasy Flight replacement bases on some. I usually use the standard bases on most things, but I like the Death Star bases. I thought they're pretty cool. They're kind of easy. They're good for like a lot of intermediate people that don't want to do a whole lot of basing. I also thought it'd be cool to do a whole army in those, but you can't. Because since they released those Death Star, or those technical bases, those deluxe base kits, they have since come out with new sizes. There's been 2 new sizes of bases that just simply don't exist. You had the long Gav base, and then you had the ultra wide for the tanks. So it's not complete. So if you had an army, let's say you had decided you wanted your Imperials to be all in Death Star bases. Well, then the Gav tank comes out. Now you can't complete the set. Now you have to have one that has a totally different, base. So that's kind of problematic. And now we're getting more with the LAT or the LAT LE and the AA5 speeder truck. If my voice sounds weird, I've got some kind of throat thing going on right now, and I can't do certain frequencies and stuff, and so it just causes me like tremendous pain if I like elevate my voice to a certain point. So I apologize if I like sound different. I'm having to do a lot of like throat control right now. It's very, very strange. I don't know if I tore a vocal cord or what. It's not COVID. I actually had a COVID test day before yesterday, because I went to the doctor about this and they wouldn't see me. They made me go get a COVID test, and it was negative. But they gave me some antibiotics and all of that stuff. So in case it was some kind of infection, they got steroids and some antibiotics, and none of that stuff has made it. And it's helped on some other unrelated things, because I also had some drainage from allergies, and so it helped with the allergies part. But I still have this. It feels like I've been stabbed in the throat, and it's taking a long time healing. So anyway, I apologize about all of that. So um, so I probably shouldn't even be talking, right? But you know, I want to talk about Star Wars. You got a HOTAS stick. Are you the one that posted it in Discord? You posted a picture of your stick in Discord, in your HOTAS stick in Discord. Yes. Congratulations. Well, maybe we'll do some Star Wars Squadrons this weekend. Maybe, maybe. They're gonna be making Star Wars Squadrons free on like the Xbox Live or the EA Pass or something like that. So I think a lot of people who have Xbox Live, like Ultimate or whatever, will be joining in. So there'll be a lot more players. So that's supposed to be that should be a good time to start playing again because there'll be a lot of new players in. So players who are just mediocre like me will actually be able to maybe perform a little better. So that'll be a good time. Okay, so X-Wing did the same thing. They released all these acrylic bases, and they had the small bases and the large bases, and it was like 4 small bases and 2 large bases. That was cool. But then X-Wing 2.0 came out, which introduced the medium base, and there are no acrylics in that. So if you wanted all your Empires to be green, now all of your medium base ships have to use the regular stuff. So again, it's something that they should do. Would you consider making a faction tier list video? Possibly. Yeah. Granted, a lot of my stuff is based more on fun factor than what is the best to win worlds with, or something like that. But yes. Is that a modified? Yeah. Well, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to the modified Neb. Yes. That's from Kuat Drive Yards. Well, I'll pull it down here so I don't forget. This is E.C. Henry's Nebulon. And if you know Rob from Kuat Drive Yards, you might be able to purchase these from his store. I know he's in my Discord. I don't remember the exact website right now. I think it's KDY Yards or something like that. I don't know if he has a different Etsy shop or something. He has an Etsy shop, and he sent me one of these to review. And I painted it up and printed it out. And this is another reason why we need Armada bases, because I would love to be able to have some display stands. And I would buy extra bases just to have display stands for these. Also, look at this base, okay? Early on in the days of Armada, one of my first games, when we were cleaning up, some dude ended up with one of my ships by mistake, because we were both playing Rebels. He ended up with one of my B-Wings. Took me like 6 months to get the B-Wing back. And this was just because they all looked the same. I've since painted my B-Wings and all of my squadrons, but I wanted to make my bases a certain color, and a lot of people were doing them in black. Black makes sense, right? You got a black starfield. It looks kind of cool to paint all of the white acrylics in black. I wanted to be different, so I did white, so that nobody would ever make off with my stuff by accident. And to this day, I have never seen anybody actually have their stuff be white. But when you're taking pictures, and since I've been posting on Instagram, I now have an Instagram, by the way. I'm like Crab_IG on Instagram. It looks dumb seeing big old white bases when they're supposed to be at least clear. They would look a lot better in photographs if they were clear. And so, like, I'm at the point where I kind of want to, like, I regret that I did almost my entire collection in white bases. So now all the new stuff, all the Clone Wars stuff, I'm not painting the bases anymore. I don't want them to have all of that. But still, the overwhelming majority of my collection has all these white bases. So I kind of want to just redo everything. Now, I might be able to, like, soak them all in simple green or something like that, but that's no guarantee that might make them look even worse, and it might, I don't know. But that's my own personal thing. So I would be looking to purchase a lot. I know some people would like to have maybe just enough for like a standard build, so I think if you did like a large base, a medium base, and 2 small bases in a pack, and 4 squadron bases in a pack, I think that would be great. And and plus, sometimes people like to mix and match like the stands too, because you have the base part and then you have the stand part, the fin, right? And some of the fins are just this style, and some of the fins are the other style where it's like the actual. It looks kind of like looks like a phallic symbol. I'm trying to stay family friendly here, but so it looks like it's kind of wide, and then it's got the oblong thing, and that's kind of how the ships, the larger ship bases. And you even have those for the smaller ships, but then the medium and the large have those. And then you have the different sizes, and of course you have the curved ones for the assault frigate. And so, the whoosh. Now, I don't know if you have to include curved ones into all of these packs just because that it's only for one ship out of the entire game. And, you know, worst case scenario, the assault frigate could just use a normal base also. Do you still want those purple medium bases? I don't, you know, it would be consistent. I know people that do. I don't as much anymore. I haven't played physical X-Wing in a while, so my need for physical X-Wing bases is a little bit lower right now. But still, it's there was a time where I had all my X-Wing stuff on display, and it got to be too much, so I had to take it down. So I don't display that stuff anymore. So I keep the Armada stuff on display, and I keep a lot of the Legion stuff on display. But I usually Armada's behind me in a lot of my builds because that is my number one. It's my favorite game. So, but yeah, so followed closely by Legion. They're both really close, you know. There are days where I prefer Legion, you know, usually when I'm setting up some cool terrain. Terrain is one of my favorite parts of Legion. All right, so anyway, yes, somebody mentioned earlier there are 3D printed options. And okay, there are 3D printed options. As a matter of fact, I have some because look here, and this is another reason too. You ever fly like multiple Star Destroyers on the same board, whether they're in your build or maybe it's a mirror match, Star Destroyer versus Star Destroyer? They start to get close and like they start bumping into each other before the bases even touch. It's really annoying because especially when you can't complete moves. And so having extra bases available and having extra fins or stands available allows you to adjust the height. There's like 3 different heights of those fins. And so, you know, you can probably put your Star Destroyer down a tick, and now all of a sudden it doesn't bump into things. I think there's there's a whole lot of reasons. And I would promote the heck out of something like this. And I would pre-order an awful lot of them because I have a lot of ships that I want all new bases for. You'd love it if I did a Separatist Aces ranking video. I did last week. Google it. It's there. Or if you just go to my videos, I absolutely did. It's up. It's already up there. Nobody saw it for whatever reason. It was like one of my worst viewed videos of all time, and I don't know why. I don't think it got broadcast to my subscribers because I did something silly. Usually I schedule a video to go, like I'll finish up editing a video like the night before and schedule it to go live like the next morning. And instead of scheduling it to go live, I made it unlisted and it got put into a playlist. And I think, so then when I published it, some people had already seen it from watching it in playlists. And so I don't think it counted as publishing because it had already been seen by people before. So it's like, it's weird if something's in a playlist. I think YouTube considers it like a soft publish. And so then when I said, all right, go public, it didn't, I don't think it broadcast to anybody because very few people saw that. Yeah, so you may not have sent out a notification, especially if you have, now if you have alerts turned on, that should prevent that from happening again. But again, it could have just been a glitch, you know. Hit that bell icon. Yeah, I mean, if you want, that's up to you. The bell doesn't do anything for me. That's for you guys. It'll just let you know. I mean, I guess it's also nice if I publish something and I get a lot of views right away because everybody like gets to it quickly. But it doesn't matter to me if you watch it within the first 5 minutes or if you wait an hour or you know or you know watch it like the next morning or something like that. Like it's all good. Watch it at your convenience, you know. But if you want to at least be notified right away and you don't want to miss out, I wish they had a bell setting for specific keywords, right? Because I know a lot of people want the ability to like say, hey, if you do a Legion video, I want that, but I don't want the X-Wing stuff. And I wish that there was a way for me to categorize stuff without having to, like, because currently the only way to do something like that would for me to have a different channel for every topic that I cover. And that's kind of unrealistic. So it still works if you have the bell, because what you can do is just when you see those email notifications like, oh, X-Wing, I'm not interested in that. Oh, and that's what I do. When I do an X-Wing, Armada, or Legion video, usually the first word in the video is the game's name. Hopefully that's my way of trying to help you guys filter out what you're looking for and what you don't want to see. Why don't you just paint the white bases black? Well, I want them to be clear. I could paint them black. That's an option, but I would prefer them to be clear. So now somebody mentioned 3D printed bases. Now there are 3D printed bases and fins. The 3D printed bases kind of look like scaffolding, like they're not like a solid and thick as the bases are, because that thick acrylic is like, it's got heft to it. So one of the things I did is I ordered some bases for the SSD. These are from Mel Miniatures, and they are extra tall, and they are great. There's nothing against Mel Miniature. The design is perfect. They stand like 2 or 3 centimeters taller than the normal large ship bases, and these allow my Super Star Destroyer to fly over and be above all of the Star Destroyers, which is very cool. The problem is, these are 3D printed, and the type of plastic that they use, or the resin that they use, is not as durable as normal acrylics. Like, those could snap really easy, especially with the weight, because it's a little wobbly. It's a little wobbly. Look. I don't want to break it. Like, so when you're moving it, it's just it doesn't feel good, and I'm constantly afraid. And like, I set it down, it goes whoa, 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 and it's still wobbling. It's about to stop. It's still going, and it's okay. Now it's stopped. So like that doesn't give me a good warm fuzzy, right? So I would love something that's like more got a lot more durability and thickness, and something that's gonna survive being dropped. I promise you, if I drop that, it's gonna break instantly. And so I would love for Atomic Mass Games to kind of apply some creative thinking on ways to get more base options to all of us. Now, Atomic Mass Games has done really good drop tests. It's a great idea. I wonder how many views I'd get. Live stream drop tests. That's like X-Wing. Will it blend? Right? Like, no, it's a bad idea. It's a funny idea, but it's a bad idea. So, let's see. Atomic Mass Games does a really good job with their Crisis Protocol minis, because they give you like a larger selections of bases in the packs. So you buy two minis in a pack, you're getting 4 bases in there. Or you buy one large mini, you're getting 2 bases in there. You pick which one you want. I've actually thrown out a ton of bases. And they fixed this really quick too, because in the core set, there was exactly just 1 base for every character. And there's certain bases that people don't like very much. Like, some people want more of like the ones with brick on the sidewalk or something like that. Or some people want the manhole cover, or some people just want the flat ones and stuff like that. And so, but yeah. They may have been. They're kind of in that softer. It's like when I've got the Bellator, it was in like that white plastic. It's a little soft. But that gives it a little durability, and I don't mind it for a ship, because I got to punch this in there and punch that in there, and I don't mind if the ship has just a little bit of give. But for bases, they need to be firmer and harder. And I know that sounds like there's some giggity jokes to make about that, but I need it firm and hard. Never mind. Never mind. I can't. I'm in a Michael Scott mode right now. Anyway, yeah. I want my bases to be have some constitution to them, right? Constitution of 16 or higher. Anyway, so yeah, I hope AMG will do this, and I think what I'd like would, I'm curious kind of how a lot of you guys are thinking about, the wish lists and stuff for AMG. I think it would be an easy thing for them to do, because you don't have to do a whole bunch of game development to come up with new base ideas. You don't have to do a lot of game development there. There's no play testing involved in that. You just have to say, hey, is there demand? And, maybe we'll make a poll. Maybe I'll run some polls on, I think one of the easiest places to do that is on my Facebook channel. On my YouTube channel. There's a community section on YouTube, and makes a mixed Legion and Armada rule set. Problem is, each of those games takes a long time. To be able to play a game of Armada and Legion at the same time could be really, really difficult. But I wouldn't mind doing like a poll for X-Wing. Would you like to see AMG continue production of those acrylic bases that they used to have for X-Wing? Including the medium base, and maybe even including huge ship bases. you could even go so far. The problem is there are some custom, like the Ghost has a custom base. I don't think we need to include all of the ships that have like a unique base. There's a couple, like there's the one in Armada, which is that Assault Frigate Mark II. And of course you got the Ghost and X-Wing. But at least if you covered every other ship, that'd be a good starting point. Also, a separate poll for Legion, should they continue making the Death Star Deluxe bases, and to include the new base sizes that they've been including, which is the oblong, really, really long, 110 millimeter or whatever, the GAV base that the AA5 speeder truck is going to be on, or the ultimate large, the Mondo bases that we've seen for the AAT and the repulsor tank. So I'm curious if how responsive they would be to that. I really want AMG to do an Ask Me Anything. So Atomic Mass Games, or if anybody here, if you have a voice line to Atomic Mass Games, spread the word. Let them know that's something that you'd like to see. They do live streams all the time. So if that's something that you'd like to see, let them know. I'm gonna look at putting up some polls, and then we'll kind of see what everybody thinks too. It would take some play testing, but I'd really like to see some cardboard Armada packs to follow. Oh yes, there's definitely demand for more Armada cardboard packs. There's a difference between doing cardboard and then just doing cards. Like I think the upgrade card pack was easier because that was just cards. Cardboard, the type of cardboard they use, is a little more expensive. It's a little bit more difficult to produce. Not crazy difficult. It's just there's more involved. So that one, is in order of most difficult would be whole new ship expansion. Then in the middle would be cardboard, which would involve like probably new pilots or new ship designs, kind of like the Chimera treatment to the ISD, or new squadrons like they would do in a campaign pack. And then the easiest is just an upgrade card pack where it's just cards. So I think if they do any more campaign packs, it'll include cardboard. They're already doing a cardboard print run for whatever campaign packs they have already, because those have new tokens and things like that. So yes, campaigns are a great way for Armada to put new lifeblood into the mix, get lots of new pilots, unique crew, upgrades, turbo lasers, squadrons, you name it, commanders even. There's a lot they can do with campaign packs. And I think that's a great way to go forward. But yeah, I think that's a good one. If you guys are just joining us, we're kind of talking about a lot of the basically bases. A lot of people have been asking about bases. I really would love for AMG to create new bases, not just for Armada, but for all of the games. They've done it for X-Wing and Legion in the past. They've never done it for Armada. So Armada is most at need. Anytime somebody breaks one of their Armada bases, they have to buy a new ship. Now, granted, not everybody's like me and keeps all their stuff assembled. It's a great way to go with Armada because, it's absolutely wonderful. I love keeping my Armada stuff assembled, and I know a lot of people out there do post screenshots of their display cabinets because, hey, these are miniatures games that are beautiful to display, so I think it's kind of a cool idea to do it. But a lot of people will also break these down and put them into, transit cases and things like that. I haven't had to actually transport my Armada stuff in a long time because of COVID. So, I think when COVID lifts up and we all start going to stores, and I know some people are going to stores and some people are still doing tournaments and things like that, but I don't. Oh, we got a huge MOTF with the super chat. What's going on, MOTF? Saying thank you for supporting the channel, guys. They say dropping by the stream to say hi there. Here is some Aussie dollaroos to keep up the good work you do, from Z6 Ken. Z6 Ken. Well, thanks, MOTF. How are you guys doing? I saw you guys just pushed out a new Legion battle report the other day, and I have not watched it yet, but I did see that Luke had sleeves on. I don't know what's going on with that. Are we seeing a fundamental change to the platform that is MOTF? That's what I want to know. Are we going to expect some craziness from MOTF in the way of Luke now always wearing sleeves? Is Ken going to start doing battles topless and Luke behind the camera? Is that what's next? I don't know. But I think it's great. And thank you guys for continuing to put out content too. You guys have been doing it for a long time. As a matter of fact, I think MOTF was one of the first, maybe the first content creators that I did a community chat with. Winter is coming. Wait, aren't we? Oh, is it because you guys are we're in different hemispheres? Do you guys have a different summer or winter than we do? Because our winter is ending. I don't know. I have never been to Australia, and that sounds like something I have to do now. I have to go visit Australia someday when Americans are allowed to travel internationally. When Australia will let us, when they'll let us in, now that entire states are just saying COVID doesn't exist anymore, and you guys can all, nobody has to wear masks. It wouldn't surprise me if states start banning masks altogether, and next thing you know is gonna be, never mind, never mind. I'm not gonna get into that. That's just, it's just there's just crazy stuff going on. Oh wow! So if I like winter year round, I need to get a home in Australia where I spend 6 months there, and then move back to Florida and spend 6 months here. That sounds like the thing. That sounds like the thing. But yeah, so I would love for them to make some alternative packs, because also if they do bases and fins for Armada, that also gives them the opportunity to do different designs, different like acrylic colors. And now that they've got 4 factions now too, how many people would love to be able to run their separatists with like blue bases, or run their Imperials with green for the lasers, or I mean whatever. Just do the same colors you did with X-wing. It's not hard. I don't know why they stopped doing it to begin with. My theory is that maybe they didn't like that some people were buying 3D printed ships and then using those, but you still would have to get the cardboard insert for the base to hold in there, and I mean, you're not going to be able to use that in a tournament anyway. But so maybe I just want stuff for display. I don't know. And and granted, if that's your concern, we can always get 3D printed stands. I just don't like the 3D printed ones as much, because I want everything ready to go when I pull it down. You want the Vong faction? Wow. All right, let's see here what we're talking about. There is no winter in Florida. There is, but it's only 3 days long. Yeah, we had our winter already. Now, fortunately, it is cooler today, and it's supposed to be fairly cool for the rest of the week. But our winter, like I have only used the heater in my car for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. This winter was a little longer, because a lot of times it's only about 3 days. This time it feels like we had almost a whole month of winter. Which is great. I like the cold. I do. Some days it got really, really cold, but I'm really pushing for Atomic Mass Games to make new bases. To me, that's an easy thing. If they're looking to have some product out there with their name on it, that could be a really easy first wave of stuff. It could be and honestly, business decisions, it's easy to make. There's no research, there's no R&D that goes into that. They've already got the molds, and all you gotta do is change the color up. It's just to push the button and go. And you're printing money. People are going to buy that stuff. And maybe, I don't know how much, though. I don't know what the demand is. I know I would want to probably I would want colored bases for every faction. And that would be rough. Do I ever visit Pensacola? No. It's a long drive. Florida is a long state to be driving all the way up through the Panhandle. That's craziness. That is crazy. I would rather fly to Pensacola than drive to Pensacola. But maybe. It all depends. When are we getting another music stream? Not for a while. I cannot sing anymore. My throat, like, I don't know if you have been in the stream long, but I've got something wrong with my throat. It feels like I've been stabbed, and I'm taking some medication. It's not helping right now, so I got to go to the doctor again. But my next appointment is in like a month, so I may have a bad voice for a month. But I can no longer sing. I can sing really low, but I can't hit the high notes. Oh, hurts. Freaking hurts. First world problem, though. I mean, not being able to sing isn't exactly a medical emergency. I'm not a singer by trade, but my voice, you may notice it being a little different with some things. It's like I can't shout, I can't be very loud. So I'm kind of stuck in this deep kind of radio voice. If I get really close, I kind of sound like that a little bit more. So I'm noticing it's like it's a few tones lower than it normally would be. And if I try and go up high, I can't, and it's very strange. Anyway, so if you guys notice this, and over the next month's worth of videos, if anybody happens to notice that my voice sounds off or whatever, and some of the damage might even cause me to squeak once in a while, hopefully I'll have that edited out. But if it's during a live stream, I can't really control it. But yeah, there's weird stuff going on, and I don't know what it is. It's not COVID though, because I've already been tested. It's not COVID. I don't think losing your voice is a COVID symptom anyway. But I had to go get tested. That wasn't pleasant, by the way. But it wasn't as bad as I was fearing. Do you think a Thrawn crew card would make its way into X-Wing? I think there's a way. I think there's a path forward for Thrawn to get into X-Wing. I was really hoping it would be in this TIE Defender pack. If we've got Scarus, well, why couldn't we get Thrawn? But maybe he's an unrevealed pilot. Maybe there is a Thrawn coming for the TIE Defender in X-Wing. That would be the place to put him. I mean, obviously he had to. If he designed the ship, he probably got in it at least once, right? I think it works. COVID swab tests are the worst. Well, I don't know if they're really the worst, because the one they gave me was only about like this long, and it only went up to about here. It went in my nose up to about my eye. I didn't think it poked my brain, like everybody else said. Now they may have different. I don't know how it was at the beginning or what the methodology was. I mean, it definitely was uncomfortable, and it caused me to almost sneeze right on the person. So I was just like, hold on, I can't sneeze on you, because if I didn't know if the result was gonna be positive or negative at the time, and I'm like, I won't allow myself to sneeze on you, poor sir, if you're giving me a COVID test, because wouldn't that be a nightmare? So that was funny, but yeah. So anyway, that's. I mean, I think I've said all I wanted to say. I'm curious how many of you guys would buy. Base kits if they came out with more deluxe bases for Legion, X-Wing, and or Armada, or maybe even other future games too. I think it makes a little more sense in Armada and X-Wing, because those are all removable. Whereas like for your Legion stuff, people have already done their basing. I'm not gonna take this guy off of this base and do all of that nonsense. So maybe there's some argument against doing more of them for Legion, but they've already done so many like this with Legion. Like, why would you? And having broken some, exactly. Right now for Armada, like at least with X-Wing, you can probably still find some of those acrylic bases. As far as I could tell, they were selling pretty quick. I think the problem was they made them too cheap. Like a whole pack of bases was only like $3 or something like that at Cool Stuff when I used to play there on like Thursday nights and stuff like that. Like that. I don't know. I don't know what's why they wouldn't. I just think for Armada, considering right now you have to replace a base is going to cost you $50 or $60. You could get a whole bag of bases, and they could probably charge $10 instead of $3 for the same amount of plastic. It would sell, especially if it's colored. I think they could make money. I think everybody could win here, because those of you who are missing a base now can get it for a much cheaper price and you can color code your armies and fleets and stuff like that. That'd be fun. Can we get an acrylic silhouette? That's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Fantasy Flight, put out this whole silhouette rule, and then doesn't. I mean, they have a PDF available, but it's so strange for them to rely. What the heck is that? Completely on. And I'm using some 5th Trooper silhouettes for when we need to use them, and those work fine. But it's really AMG never made those. Like, why are they not making accessories anymore? They're good with acrylic mold. I think if AMG won't do it, if any of you guys out there wants to make some acrylic bases, like, let's talk. I'd love to promote. I'd love to. Brittle and can break easy. There exists already 3D printed stuff. I have some right here. It's fine. It works very good. In fact, the Mel Miniatures designed a really good fin system that puts my Superstar Destroyer way above everything else, and it's beautiful. I just want a better material for it so that it's as durable, if not better, than the actual FFG stuff. And that's you want the nice smoky bases they show when they show the new Armada ships. The problem is, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The ones that are kind of like gray or like only semi-transparent. Those are beautiful. You got purple bases at your local shop, Dusty? Yeah, I mean, some places still have them. but they never made those in the medium size, so you can't even do your whole X-wing squad that way, right? So yeah, no, that would be I think that'd be a real easy thing for AMG to do. And I don't know why FFG doesn't do it anymore. Maybe it's related to the same reason they're not making much Imperial Assault anymore. I mean, they could be related. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I want to see something. I want to see something because somebody said, I'm going to dig through while I look for something. Oh, by the way, how many of you guys have seen my Ultimate Palpatine encounter? There's a battle report, and it basically, this is an Ultimate Epic. This is an 800-point Emperor Palpatine. And I printed it out. I did a battle report with this that is up on Patreon right now. So if anybody out there is looking for... Oh, I do have this. Wow. Look what I found. Ahsoka Tano. I wonder if I should do a giveaway for Ahsoka Tano, because I saw somebody in my Discord today talking about Imperial Assault, how Ahsoka Tano was hard to find. Somebody was charging like over $100 for it. And this is unopened. I bought this with the intention of doing an unboxing right around the time I stopped playing Imperial Assault. It's a little dusty. Still got a $8 price tag on there from Cool Stuff. But yeah, I wonder how many people who are playing Imperial Assault would be interested in an Ahsoka Tano giveaway. What do you guys think? Is that something I should do a giveaway for? It would be a good idea to do that during the AMG live stream. Wouldn't that? Right? That's in a few weeks. We're going to be doing lots of live streams that whole weekend. That could be one of the giveaways for the whole weekend. Maybe I'll do this and some promos, so in case you play other games, right? Whoa, that's a lot of spam. That's not an effective way of communication. Oi, us, ho. I don't know what that means. I don't like that. All right. But yeah, so I'll talk about that. Maybe I'll promote that a little bit. I wasn't sure if I still had that anymore, so I wanted to look and see if it still existed. But yes, so that's still there. But yeah, another thing is, just have an extra basis to display, your custom 3D printed ships. To check out Quat Drive Yards. That's where this one came from. And this is E.C. Henry's design. How many of you guys have seen E.C. Henry's work? That dude has come up with some amazing renders for ships, and he takes like the stuff that's in the background of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and comes up with a new way to do this stuff. Basically, just resculpts them, and this one was what was the Nebulon B before it was kind of stripped apart, and we see the Rebel version. This is the Imperial's version of a Nebulon B. Oh man, that would be so cool. I was talking to somebody. I was talking from Rob from Quat Drive Yards, and just kind of like, what would happen if Armada was ever came to an end of life, came to a sunsetting stage, and we wanted to keep it going, right? And we were talking about like, putting a continuing committee or something like that going, and whether it would be just more Star Wars stuff, or would it be a cool idea to kind of take that whole engine and apply it to Star Trek, or maybe a different IP altogether, so we don't have to worry about licensing or something like that. And and how would you keep the same feel? Like I had the idea of using offensive tokens as well as defensive tokens. That would be one change. This way, some ships might have more offense token, and it's just in the same way that you have defense tokens, maybe there was offense tokens that you could also spend. And for Star Trek, man, I love talking Star Trek Armada with people. That's a really fun topic, and I think that's maybe we'll talk some Star Trek Armada this weekend. That'd be a good conversation for a live stream, because I'd love to bounce ideas off of you guys. I know a lot of people have worked on Star Trek Armada. There's a lot of custom cards out there. Jalad Paleon, I was talking with him yesterday about it. He's actually one of the admins in my Discord. If you guys aren't already in my Discord too, I did a World of Tanks review today, and I'm giving out some codes in Discord. That's going to run for about a week. There's a giveaways channel in Discord. You can check that out. But yeah, we're like, there's so many ideas of Star Trek Armada, and like I always thought of using, like, just changing the symbols and having red dice be for representing torpedoes, which are like the longest range, and having blue dice be the phasers, because they're kind of everywhere and they're the most reliable. There's no blank dice on those. Those seem kind of like phaser shots. They lock on, they just bzz, and then having black dice be like the Defiant. So my thought is like the Enterprise would be like blue dice almost all the way around, probably no blue dice in the rear, because their phaser batteries are based on the the saucer section, which really, like, they don't have it in the direct blind spot in the rear, so they'd have a really narrow rear section. Or they might like have just one phaser bank, but it might be just like one blue in the back. But it'd be like 3 blue on the sides, 3 blue on the front, 3 blue on the sides, 1 on the back. No black. But then red, which are torpedoes, would only be front and rear facing. So the front might be like 3 red and 3 blue. And then the back might be like 2 red and 1 blue, and then 3 blue on the sides. So they, that was just a thought. Now that puts a Galaxy at kind of like a Victory kind of Star Destroyer's power level, and the whole idea is that you're basing that the Galaxy class is going to be a kind of medium. It all depends on how you cost it also, because if you make a Galaxy class a little bit cheaper, now all of a sudden it becomes an A tier kind of ship, because now you can run quite a few Galaxy class ships in a build, and I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. So I think it's really excited. If you were an assault gunboat, which config would you choose? Gosh, I don't know. Probably cannons. I like cannons. I don't have to worry about running out of ammo. I don't remember the exact specs of the configs off the top of my head. And sorry if I'm missing some of the chat here. It's kind of small. And let's see. What ships do you think will come in the First Order Squadron pack? Oh man, I don't know if they're gonna even do one. I mean, have they announced anything else for X-Wing right now? There hasn't even been any other Lion Rampant leaks. I don't know what's happening for X-Wing or Armada. Like, they may announce the X-Wing and Armada like this is it. Like, I mean, I don't think that's the case, but I mean, look at the message boards. There's, like, the forums that are set up, it's Marvel Crisis Protocol and Legion. That's it. All right? They have said, or people have said, that they're, X-Wing and Armada are coming, but it's clear where the priorities are. So if you're a Legion player, you are good to go. If you're an Armada player, I think you're still good to go. I mean, I'm an Armada player. I have all the reason in the world to keep that going. But, X-Wing and Armada have at least one more kind of wave of stuff that's coming. But, man, with no leaks beyond that, I don't know. I don't know. I know that they had to have been working on stuff, so there's got to be plenty of stuff in the pipe. They've also said the Mandalorian stuff is coming. I'm sure there's got to be a Razor Crest in the pipeline. And it's not like they need to do it. It's not like they need to wait for season 3 of the Mandalorian to release the Razor Crest. It's not like there's going to be any changes. I don't want to do any spoilers right now, but like, they can't do anything more with the Razor Crest. So no reason to delay that one any further. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me today. If you guys are fans of Legion battle reports, stay tuned. I've got 2 battle reports coming. One is more of a standard. One is going to be it's going to be my AI system versus Ultimate Epic Palpatine, and this is a free download on Crabbok.com. You can check out both of them are the AI systems. I've got AI for Armada and for Legion. You can get both of those there. And then hop in Discord. I'm doing a giveaway right now for some World of Tanks codes. I'm giving away 3 World of Tanks codes, and stay tuned for the March 18th through 20th. We're gonna be covering all the AMG news. We'll be doing an Ahsoka Tano giveaway probably. We found that live on this stream, so yeah, that'll be fun. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Thank you so much for watching, and as always,